What about now? Can you hear me? Can you hear me now? Is that better? Now it's better? Okay. Yeah, apologies, guys. Honestly, I don't know. I don't know what's happening in the last few days. I don't seem to be getting much communication with Discord. It keeps saying I get disconnected. Try to VPN, not seem to be working. So this is a private stream, by the way, only for RTFX members. If you're in, it's not public or anything like that. So just say what you want to say. But let me know if you prefer this. I mean, maybe you prefer it, maybe you don't. But I mean, I'm just used to streaming on Discord now. I think it's a lot easier. So I'll try and figure out why that's not working, because I don't really understand. But anyway, okay, appreciate that, Nicola. Appreciate that, mate. Just seeing your message on Discord. Okay, let's just get into the market, shall we? We've had a little bit of a gap down. It looks quite bearish. You know, it does look pretty bearish. Maybe I have to change that bias of is this C wave for continuation to, well, maybe it's not. Are we in here? We pull back to the 20 for now, continuation to the downside. It could be the case that what's strange about the market right now is we're seeing the I've got that, Nick, I've got Discord. It's called Nitrous. I've got that. I don't know. It just seemed to happen on Friday, where I was saying it's disconnected, and I don't really understand why. Anyway, I'll figure it out at some point this week. At least we have this alternative to do my live streams in the morning. But technology, technology. What was I saying? Sorry. Yeah, so it seems to be a slight disconnect, because here we're thinking it's risk off. Now, London's opening up in 20 minutes. This could change on the opens, but we're seeing the commodities being quite strong, or certainly the Aussie and the Kiwi. We're seeing the yen and the Swiss come off a bit. We're still seeing that dollar strength. I'll go into the DXY in a minute, but there's a little bit of a disconnect here, which I think is kind of strange, which is why I'm quite happy about the position that I'm personally currently in, or if you guys are in as well, the crypto shorts position, because I'm not massively comfortable with what's going on. So we have to look at this daily chart and say, okay, yeah, weekly I still like. There's no doubt about it. I still like it. It doesn't mean we can't come in and pull back within this before we move to the upside. I'll remove this line just so that's easier to see. But the open here and obviously what's happened over the weekend in terms of the Russia-Ukraine situation ain't great. 4 hour, we have broken through the area. We've tried to close this gap, and we have closed this gap on this particular bar. If we get some price acceptance underneath this area, it would look decent for a movement to the downside. So, you know, we're losing momentum to the upside here, and it does look better for you know, a bit of a sell-off, to be honest with you. And that's the way I would possibly look at it. I mean, I know that weekly is still there, but on that daily, we could be looking at this. So I think if this 4 hour or the hourly or the smaller time frames, you're looking for your risk sentiment, you know, a reason to enter, you know, maybe a bearish sign from underneath this area for movement to the downside, in which case we look at risk off. But then, is the yen going to be strong? You know, are we going to see the yen slightly weak against that commodities, Aussie and the Kiwi, today? It is a Monday. Mondays are sometimes strange, and yeah, I think my bias right now would be SPX to the downside, potentially corrective from that weekly before continuation. But I think right now you've got to be looking short. We have to be looking short. We've gapped down. We've closed that gap. The hourly and the 30-minute do look short. So, you know, we've got to say risk off. But, you know, we look at the Aussie yen, for example. Look at this. I mean, does that really give a good picture of where we are with our risk sentiment? Probably not. So that disconnect is quite something. I know there's potential positives for the Aussie economy, Kiwi economy with what's going on, but you know, I just don't agree with this. You know, from a personal standpoint, that's not how my mind works with markets. If the market's falling, go into those safe haven assets, and we're not really getting that. So, yeah, let's see how London opens. Maybe this push-up will be sold into the London US session today on account of that risk-off nature. But let's see. This is a good example of trade what you see, not what you think right now. Dollar is motoring. Dollar's motoring to the upside. I've not seen this kind of price action in a long time, where we're gapping on a kind of day-to-day basis, gapping up, gapping up, gapping up, gapping up. I've not seen that. And to be honest, I can't even remember seeing that since I've started trading. So we have gapped up quite extensively here on a Monday morning. We haven't closed that on the daily. It looks okay. If we go back to the 4 hour, or maybe we have closed it on the 4 hour. No, we've not closed it on the 4 hour yet. We kind of got here. We've kind of got here. What do I think with the dollar? I mean, do we have to continue with this? Is this getting a little bit too climactic? You know, we've gapped up in the last few times. We've had a bearish bar, although not here. Do you play that dollar strength until it stops? I mean, is this a bear sign? Do we need a pullback in the dollar? Is this getting a little bit climactic? Volume coming slightly in, maybe over the London session? I don't know, guys. I'll be completely honest with you. I don't know. You know, it's strong. Would I be comfortable buying the dollar right now from a technical perspective? Probably not. You know, if we get a daily close like this, although there is a long way to go before that daily closes, we've got to be thinking dollar strong. But, you know, I don't really want to call a top in this. I just don't like this price action. You know, it's very messy. It's very gappy. It looks a lot like a stock chart rather than a Forex chart, doesn't it? So, yeah, I think you've got to go with the strength in the dollar. I mean, it makes sense fundamentally. Continuing with that, maybe on the smaller time frames, if you see something that gets you in, your RTE would make sense. I just don't particularly like this DXY. But let's go long until it really tells us otherwise, because we have had that gap. So dollar potential continuation to the upside. Okay, watch this today. What do we have? Not much on the watch list today on a Monday. Let's go through Litecoin first, because we are in that trade. I am back on real, or my account is now back to being unfrozen on this 200K. So I entered into this trade a little bit later than what I posted on Saturday. Was it Saturday or Sunday? Up here. So I've moved my risk down. So I'm the same risk percentage as that trade from here to here, entry in there. Now, I still like this. You know, I do like this. I like the fact that we're potentially closing, depending on what happens today, our kind of evening star from this movement to the upside. It's not a dark cloud cover, this bar here, because we've not breached 50% of this previous bar. So that's good for our trade to the downside. Yeah, I like it with Bitcoin going down. We could potentially get a setup here if we get something like this for a smaller smaller breakout. But at the moment, I'm quite happy with this. You know, if I don't get any resonation with the market, you know, I don't have to take a trade. You know, and being in this position, if it wins me, wins me a trade this week, and I don't take anything else, then I don't really care. You know, because of that disconnect I'm feeling between what we're seeing in the Forex currency pairs and what we're seeing with our risk sentiment. So Litecoin's good. Let's now it's just about sitting on our bum and waiting for a potential decent break. I have said I thought Bitcoin wanted to test that 30K mark. It did look decent last week. We're obviously flip-flopping around in terms of volatility. We've come off this area now, so where people were thinking, well, maybe this is a double bottom. I mean, possibly now it's a double top. You know, so it does look bearish, doesn't it? It does look bearish, Bitcoin to the downside. And I mean, do we look at it as a bigger channel corrective here from this move to the downside? Do we look at this as a ABC? Possibly from this move, A, B, C. Now getting sellers coming in where we come down and hit that 30K. That would make sense to me. It would make sense to me. So let's see. Let's see. This would be key. A break of B wave if we are considering that an ABC. A break of this area here would be quite key. We're getting our slight V reversal on this daily chart for crypto shorts. Again, I'm a long-term crypto bull. Absolutely. Yeah, correct, Martin. Bitcoin bringing down, we'll bring it down too. Yep, for sure. We could get a setup here at some point. It's going to take some time to develop with Bitcoin here. But yeah, I like crypto shorts in terms of looking at anything else, to be honest with you. I feel more comfortable in selling these cryptos rather than looking at any currency pairs today, to be completely honest with you, which is why I kind of like the position that I'm in with Litecoin. So, yeah. Okay, so what we're looking at, so we got Euro Pound and USD Swiss. So Euro Pound is the same setup as last week. It's still waiting for a retest on this area. We kind of want this to happen now. The reason why I say that is if we take this as the start of the move to the end of the move here, our retest is coming around that 40-60 box and primarily right on that 50. So if we do come back and retest, it's going to take some time. But around that 50, 40, 60 box would be nice. If we do decide to push on, it's probably something that we just got to leave and go, and just, let it go. Let it go without us, and that'll be okay. So, yeah, looking for a retest to start really today on this Euro Pound. If it doesn't, then, it doesn't. We just let it go. USD Swiss. USD Swiss. USD Swiss is probably not going to set up. It was maybe the best of a bad bunch, really. But I was looking at it here. I did try to adjust the level, saying, well, is there something here? But with this 4-hour bar, that is probably gone off now. So a bigger V reversal here, corrective in, retesting that corrective trend line. I would have liked this to tag this area. It has not done that. So coming back down, maybe something like this to go short. But to be honest, I don't really like it anymore. Not after that 4-hour bar. It's becoming a little bit messy. Becoming a little bit messy here. And sometimes with that mess, you just got to say, I don't really understand what's going on. I'm happy to sit out and be happy with the position that I've got on. As I said, for me, if I get to the position where I want to be, where you're placing, and this is what you should be doing as well, guys, thinking you're placing 10, 20, 30 grand per trade. It's not out the realms at all. It's not out the realms of possibilities at all, certainly if you can trade. And you take one trade a month, that gets you that, that wins maybe 1 or 2 hours, you're perfectly happy, right? So I'm comfortable with the position I'm in on a Monday. I would like a little bit more action tomorrow. I don't think it's going to come today. But yeah, I'm perfectly happy with Litecoin, to be honest with you. Perfectly happy. So not much for me. Not much for me. Everything far from war is okay. Correct. Right, so I had a few, here we go, a Canon folder, USD Swiss long. Yeah, I would probably agree with that now, Canon. USD Swiss long, it does look like a little bit of bullish pressures coming in. We're seeing that risk off assets for some reason weakening off. Again, I would wait for London Open though. I would wait for that direction really from London before I would be comfortable selling the yen, because I'm not massively comfortable selling the yen right now. But let's see what London opens. Let's see how London opens. Okay, let's firstly, before I go, because there's not much today, before I go, let's go into the stuff that Trevor sent yesterday, because I do think it's quite interesting. Also, you guys booklets, remember, available on the RTFX store if you want them. Okay, so been trading for 8 years now, and only in the last quarter I've finally become consistently profitable. Armed with these books of knowledge, there's no stopping me now. Provided I have more days like Friday. So the 3 accounts I'm running at the moment, the top step in FTMO qualifying stage, but the main account is in my own funds. My target is 0.5% per day, but I'll take anything above that if it comes. 0.5%, I think that's quite aggressive, Trev, personally. 0.5%. I know it sounds quite small, but 0.5% per day is 1%, 2 days. What's that per month? 2, 4, 6, 30, 15. It's quite an extensive percent per month. So, I mean, if you can do that, perfect. But I just think it's a little bit aggressive because you're maybe chasing something that's quite hard to get. So account balance, win rate 75%. 26. That's amazing, Trev. 25% overall. Overall 65%. I'm not really sure what this edge wonk is, but this is good. Expectancy, average winner, average loser, return 17.6, max drawdown. This is good. 3.37%. That's great. Profit factor 4.42. That's excellent, mate. 35, 77%. I'd like to know what strategy you're on, Trevor. if you can send through your strategy and what you've kind of been doing, I mean, 97, I presume this would be a smaller account size with 97% win rate, or else, wow, that would be amazing. But if you can send me through or send through your kind of strategy and what you do, that would be interesting to see. A line of clothing with art. Well, there's actually, I'll give you into a little. There's actually there's some changes coming, which, like I said, but over the next month, maybe 2 months. So I can't say much more than that right now. But probably not. But there'll be a reason for that, which will come clear in the next couple of weeks or so. But I'm thinking about golf shorts. Golf shorts would be nice. Maybe an RTFX hat. Anyway, we'll see. We'll see. So yeah, I'd like to see your strategy, Trev, because that's very good results. And after 8 years, I mean, not giving up after 8 years, well done. Fair play to you, my man. Fair play to you. Ryan, please take Doge. Doge, okay. Let's have a check of Doge. Dogecoin. Doge USD. I've never looked at Doge, you know. I presume you're looking as a daily or 4-hour break. I don't know how to use this bloody thing. So you're looking, I presume you're looking here, silver, right? There. It wouldn't be a breakout for me. Personally, I would need a little bit in this area. But in terms of breakout retest, yeah. Do I like this? Yeah. I absolutely like the bias of Doge to the downside. I have it on FTMO, do I? I didn't know that. Dogecoin on FTMO? No, surely not. Where's show all? Dogecoin, I do have Doge against the US dollar. Okay, let me have a look at that. I had no idea. I've got NEO. Wow. Okay, let's get it up here then. That will be easier. Dogecoin. Okay, Dogecoin 30-minute. Let's look at the 4-hour. This is where probably you're looking. Daily. I mean, I like crypto shorts, so yeah, daily looks good. I presume you're looking there at B-Wave, right? Yeah, as I said, for me, not quite enough for a breakout. Do I agree with it? Yep. Breakout retest on that would be quite nice. Breakout retest. Context is clear for a breakout retest. A, B, C. Yep, like that, silver. Absolutely like that. I like the bias. Absolutely. Not much for me else to say, silver. Like I generally think, yeah, Bitcoin, Doge shorts. Yeah, makes sense. Breakout retest 4-hour. Yep, that's what I would be looking at as well. I might add all these cryptos in now. I didn't even know I had all of them. That's bad for me to say, isn't it? I'm supposed to be the expert on the subject. What's this one? XMR is what? Monero. Neo. I used to have Neo for a little bit. Polkadot. Cardano. Doge. Deutsche Bank. Stocks, I guess. Okay. I might add those in. Question maybe a bit unrelated, but what I love to have your opinion on this topic. Would you rather invest 10,000 on an ETF or open an account and buy US 30? Yeah. ADA and Dash is the same, is it? Okay, I didn't know that. ADA and Dash, Cardano and Dash is the same. I didn't know that, Silver. Yeah, so I mean, this is something I remember speaking to John about this, Martin, saying, well, why don't you just go in if you're looking to invest, like for example, the SPX, right? If I thought this was an ABC and a kind of dip buying opportunity for the SPX, why don't you go and buy it as a trade with your leverage rather than investing with it? And the answer is, I don't know. I mean, the answer is I don't know the answer. Because you'd have to figure out things like swaps. Would swaps make sense? I mean, you know, there's a whole different factors. I'm presuming if you timed it perfectly, then if you did it as a trade, you'd make more money. I mean, yes, that would, I mean, you would. But it's obviously riskier because it is a trade. You got margin, all that kind of stuff. It's not something, basically, it's not something I would be happy at doing, Martin. I would rather just put my money into the, you know, the index and just leave it there for 20 years. But do I think there's an argument for doing what you're saying? Yes, but in terms, I just wouldn't. I wouldn't. I like the idea, but I don't like the idea, Martin. I know that's kind of strange to say, but if you understand what I'm saying by that, I think it would work, but for me, in terms of investment-wise, I'm just happy going, right, I'm putting that in every month. I don't have to worry about it for another 20 years, and I use it as my retirement fund. But I get it, you know? Someone would have to do some data and proper data on it for me to kind of understand if it's actually valid or not, you know? Yeah, we did. Because I remember speaking to John about it quite a few months ago, saying, well, if you time this now as a trade, what would you do? So, for example, on the COVID drop, right? Let's go back to the weekly. On the COVID drop, if you'd bought this down here as a trade, right? Let's say on the 4-hour chart, what are you doing with that? I mean, likely, if you're saying to yourself, well, are you going to say this is an investment and you're going to hold this trade for 20 years, you know? Is that what you're saying? Because that's where we have to determine, in which case you've got your swap for 20 years, right? Thinking about how much that would be depending on obviously how much money you're putting into it. So it's a hard question to answer, and I wouldn't actually know. I wouldn't actually know. But yeah, it's an interesting topic. Absolutely an interesting topic. You bought the Nasdaq in October 2020. I'm still holding it as a trade, so with your leverage. So then what's the numbers on that, Nick? Is it good? Basically, you're holding it, and you planning on holding it for the foreseeable, or are you planning on selling it, or what's the results of it? And I presume if you had a trade like last year, it would make sense, right? Like going from here up to where it is now, you mean, but then you look at this, and let's say you do it a bit more conservatively. What's that? 1, 2, 3, 4R. I just don't know what the swap would be. My main concern for this would be the swap. That's what would be my main concern. You know, because you think about it there. I mean, I know you're thinking long term, right? I don't know. I'd rather just buy the index. Yeah. Well, yeah, because it's you're probably going to have a lot less position on the line, right? So, I mean, yeah. I don't know, Martin. I don't know is basically the answer. I don't know. Possibly yes, but possibly no. I think there's an argument there. You're a broker enlisted me in a program. Well, there you go. Well, maybe there's something there. Go and find out, Martin. Go and find out. I would be interested to know, to be honest with you. I would certainly be interested to know. But, yeah, if I don't know something, I'll tell you. And probably, I'm not really sure. For me personally, yeah, homework for the week. Yeah, we could come back and do a show and tell for the class and tell us what you learned. But I think for me personally, I don't think I would see myself doing it. I think I would just go, there you go. I'm not going to touch that for a X amount of years. It's for my kids and stuff in my retirement fund. I don't think I would do it. But hey, if you've got good data on it, then maybe I change my mind. Right, guys, anything else you want me to look at before I head off and do some vlog editing? As I said, I'm perfectly happy with today being a Monday with the position that we are in on Litecoin from a daily perspective. Not massively interested in what's happening on a smaller time frame. Looking at that daily close would be nice. Again, we are going with that trend and ready to move. 20 period is there. We've had a nice period of consolidation. You know, we're underneath that $100. Again, we think about the psychological level. $100 will be a psychological level in Litecoin. And if we can close underneath it, price acceptance underneath that 100, that would look good. That would look good for movement to the downside. And we wait to buy up those cryptos on a dip. And hopefully, after we do, we make quite a decent bit of money. Before I go, what is the Warren saying? Be fearful when the market is, what's the saying? It's gone on my head. Somebody tell me it. Somebody knows it here. It's a very famous saying. Be fearful when others are greedy. Be greedy when others are fearful. There you go. Excellent. Well done. So we want to be greedy when this crypto, correct. Well done, Mark. All right, guys, have a lovely Monday. I'll be around Discord. I'm just going to check. I'm not sure I think Andy's changed his schedule around with his dad so he can possibly do a stream starting again this week, but he'll let you know a wee bit later. But I'll see you all tomorrow. We'll do it all again, and hopefully the markets are a wee bit nicer. All right, guys, trade safe.